and welcome to Pacific Dialogue. I'm Zihui. Oregon's partnership with China is one of the most enduring at the subnational level. With decades of fruitful exchanges in trade, education, and culture, we are truly honored today to be joined by Oregon Senate President, Mr. Robert Wagner. Okay, Mr. Wagner, welcome to China, and we understand this is your first visit. Which cities you have had traveled before? You have the chance to explore this time?
Yes, it's been an incredible experience. This is the highest level delegation that Oregon has sent to China for many years, especially since after the pandemic. We wanted to be very aggressive about our timeline, so we've actually visited 9 cities over the course of 15 days. Everywhere we have been extremely warmly received, and it's been a unique opportunity for us to be able to build friendships, make sure that we're talking about commerce and culture and the future of our two countries.
So from your perspective, what makes this kind of subnational travel, like the U.S.-China Sister Program, more resilient and effective in promoting the two countries?
Well, often I feel like our timeline, whether or not it's in commerce or in politics, is very, very quick. We're expected to make decisions in one day or a week. But friendships and relationships need to be built over years. So when we can come with a large delegation and reaffirm our relationship, an 11-year relationship with Tianjin, a multiple-year relationship with our sister park, which is Crater Lake National Park with Wushan, a 41-year relationship with Fujian, and continue to go across the country and make new friends, we can think about these relationships, not in terms of the short term, but as a bedrock so that we can build those relationships over many, many decades.
So as we know, the economic partnership between China and the state of Oregon is robust, with bilateral trade reaching nearly $8 billion last year. So could you elaborate on the current state and key highlights of this mutually beneficial cooperation?
Yeah, I mean, we just keep growing where we can, even when things are a little bit difficult at the national level. We want to make sure people know that the state of Oregon is open for business. We want to continue to be a good partner. And again, there's commerce, and that's really important. What I found so enriching in my time in China is thinking about young people, thinking about the next generation, thinking about trade and athletics and everything else that we can do together. So we want to continue to know, for everybody to know in China that our door is open. We want to continue over the long term to make sure people know that whether or not it's agricultural products or high technology or intellectual capital, that we want to be a good partner in the future. What I found really inspirational from the Sister Cities Conference is when I go home, I want to think about even younger. So I was on our local school committee before I was in the Oregon State Senate, and we started an immersion school of Mandarin and English. And I think we need to do more both in developing language but also culture. So if we can start with children at a very young age, that's how you break down stereotype. That's how people learn about each other through the course of their life, and it is a lifelong impact. I'm hoping when I get home I can continue to talk to young people about why it's important to engage with our Chinese, people both in our community but also across the world, and especially with China.
Okay, so speaking of Chinese culture, China now is currently formulating its 15th five-year plan, which will guide our development from the next 5 years, from 2025 to 2030. So looking forward, in your opinion, which emerging sectors such as climate change, green development, or AI, or educational exchanges, do you believe hold the most promising?
Well, I was really impressed through my travels here about our state, Oregon, and its reaffirmation with China on addressing global climate change. We actually attended the 5th annual Oregon China Sustainability and Technology Summit, where we continue to foster communication about how we share a global world together, and that we need to have a mutual understanding and commitment to addressing climate change. Obviously, technological innovation is on the cutting edge and what everybody's thinking about right now in terms of big data and thinking about AI. But where I got my real passion from the trip was with meeting with young people and thinking about the future and what we can do together. One thing that I thought was really special was the commitment commitment to global climate change and the future. So it's nice to see that China is actually wanting to partner with states like Oregon on addressing things like climate change. I need to be able to go home and tell people that they need to engage in travel, and I think that hopefully there's an easier opportunity for people from China to be able to visit our home state. So I think everyone has a job to do to be a good ambassador, to be a world citizen, to be able to understand different culture, and making sure that the bond between our state and Oregon and China remains strong for years to come.
Okay. So like many regions, Oregon has undoubtedly felt the impact of broader the China-US trade dynamics. So could you share like which local industries have been particularly affected?
Yeah, and I've actually talked with people before I left for China, and then I've actually had conversation with people here. Along with our delegation, we actually have someone who's a cattle rancher, so he's actually a farmer and a real cowboy. And what he wants from his constituents is to be able to open markets to Asia and to China, so making sure that whether or not it's wheat or alfalfa or potatoes or onions, that are agricultural commodities that we can continue to trade on a world markets. Obviously, that's been difficult. It sounds like potentially there might be a little bit of a thaw right now at the national level. But again, at the subnational level, because at a state level, what we need to do is let our trading partners like China know that we're committed to this relationship over the long term. There's certain things at the national level we can't control. One thing we can't control is the ability for people to know that in Oregon we're committed to trade. I want everybody from China to come to Portland, Oregon, because we have the next Yao Ming. We have a basketball star who is an up-and-comer named Yang Han-sen. We had a chance to meet his parents just a few days ago, and I'm so delighted. He actually just lives a few minutes from my house, but I really think that athletics is one of those areas that if people want to come to Oregon and watch Han-sen play, we would love to have you. So when you talk about the future as well, sometimes there's a market in athletics, but I would really think that sports is also an important role to bring people together. I've been visiting 9 states or 9 cities over the course of 15 days, so I'm limited in my conversations at the national level about where they are with diplomacy or with trade relationships. The important thing for Oregon and our delegation, by being here in China, is to let people know that we want to build a relationship over the long term. So if there are things that are happening right now and things are in flux, we need people to be thinking, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it's next year, it's 10 years, it's 40 years. Ultimately, we are one world. We want to be able to let people know in China that Oregon wants to be a good partner in all these different ways.